Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad to hear this Tuesday morning. It's been a hot summer, and it looks like it's going to continue. It's hot. This garage in Studio B, we don't have our central unit, so it's just hot. It's hot 24 hours a day. So we're gonna. If you see me sweating, it's not that I'm nervous. It's just hot. High today 92, low 79, and water temperature is going up to 85. And the river readings. Take a look at our river readings. Brought to us by Mountain Dew. Get out and do, and cool off when you do it. We're looking at a 7.9 for the Apalachicola. It's looking pretty strong there, real steady. And the Choctaw Caribbean is sort of came down a little bit and going to have a little bump up. So it's this is a typical summertime pattern on our rivers. It's steady and then going to have a little bit of bump and down. So it's really been a good summer on the rivers. The bites, the fish bites have been good, and so has the bug bites have been strong. Our tide brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Take a look at our tide. High is at 537 and lows at 408. And our marine forecast, and I'm going to talk about this later, it's coming out of west-southwest at 10 to 15. That's strong for the summertime. And it's just been steady like that, strong, and it's rough, and what the old timers call sloppy. That's what I mean by just going around and around. But it's been like that for the majority of the summer. It's just one of those patterns. All right, let's take a break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Every now and then I run across an old article or some kind of historical piece, and I just find it purely fascinating, and I'd like to share it with you because I think some of y'all like this also. And this is, I wasn't searching for it, I just sort of run across to somebody that posted it. This is a St. Augustine paper from 1950, which is 7 years ago. What caught my eye was just a group of outdoors people. It's a boating club, the St. Augustine Boating Club, okay? It's May 4th. But here's what's interesting, look in the lower left-hand corner, what they're doing a gopher stew, okay? They're getting ready for a gopher stew, and it's obviously a big deal down there. The boating club puts it on, and they're doing it Saturday night. And I love reading this stuff. It's going to start at 5:30 and continue to 9 o'clock, and then after that, they're going to clear the floor for dancing. Now, okay, these sort of flashback to that era and what a great time they had, and they listed all their names. I didn't see the McKinn folks on there, but they might be. But that was on the East Coast. But what drew me to it was that still on the water. I don't care if you're on the Gulf Coast or the Atlantic Coast. That waterfront, the eating of those fish and fish fries and gopher stews and all that was just a big tradition. It was carried on from generation after generation. And a big thing about gophers in the early years of exploration, they had to put the gophers on the big ships, on sail ships, and for ballast. But yeah, they would eat them along the way. When they started running out of food, they always eat gopher stew. So gopher stew goes way back in the history of mankind. And by the time they got on shore somewhere, they might have 1 or 2 gophers left. They didn't have much ballast, but they had some gopher stew. So I want to share that with you. I thought it was cool. Now, this next set of pictures, they're sent to me. What's cool, my buddy Terry down there, I'm going to have to find his article, Terry at Blue Water, out taking pictures, okay? This is around, he was off St. Joe, and this is not planes, because he was been around the airlines before and all. So these are just some really cool cloud formations, okay? Look at this one here. Isn't that fascinating? Look at that. And he said it's not planes and all because he was watching and everything. So anyway, Terry, thank you for sharing the cloud pictures. Speaking of cool pictures, our buddy Tom Gurley, how about a little gator on a big log in a watercolor river? Look at the clarity and everything of this picture. This is a top quality outdoor photograph by Tom Gurley. And that little gator is going to grow up to be a big gator. Okay, now I got a set of pictures I want to show you. I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to show this picture to you. We got a bass here. Okay. This is Robert Blackburn. Bobby Blackburn, he retired senior chief from the Coast Guard, and his wife Debbie had sent some pictures and all. Well, what happened? He went fishing like on July 4th, and July 5th on the bass he caught on July 5th. It was that big one here, 7 pounds and all. I'm gonna show you all this stuff. But he's catching bass. The next day he goes saltwater fishing, catching grouper and snapper. So he had 2 great days of fishing, and that was excellent. So I was so tickled to get this and all. Sunday and Monday, and then the bass he caught, he had a little pond up there in Vernon. It was 7 pounds 2 ounces, and that's on top of a 52 quart cooler. He's talking about what they eat. They eat turtles and gators and wood ducks and everything. So that's a nice bass. That was a good string of some really good fishing right there. Okay, moving on. Announcement here: the first annual Fishing for a Dream Bass Tournament. The Not So Serious Bass Club. You know, we had them on the show. They're having a great time. A lot of them are fishing it. And they got a big club now, but they're doing a fundraiser for Camo Dreams. It's going to be August 1st, and you can go online and look at it. I'll tell you more about it. It'll be from Safe Flight to 12:30, like a half a day, and 4 a.m. And anyway, so 5 fish. The rules are the same, but it's going to be up here at Deer Point Lake. Okay. Next picture. Take a look at it. That's a picture of a bedspread with snakes. And let me tell you the story behind that. My son Chip, he and Ronnie Leake run Leake's Landscaping, and he's got several crews out. Got some great workers, and he really takes care of them and enjoys working, them working and all, and have a good rapport. And one of them called, I was talking, and what happened, they were out in I won't tell you the subdivision, a very nice subdivision, and he about stepped on a water moccasin. Water moccasin struck at him. If I try to show you a picture, and put a hole in his shoe. The fang mark was in his shoe, and of course it scared him to death. You can imagine. He was just it scared everybody, and it was working in flower beds in a really nice subdivision, and that water moccasin struck at him. Here's one more picture. This was one of these flashbacks 7 years ago, and I was actually showing. This was scalloped. This is my display, and that's a quarter. That's my quarter. I'll probably spin it by now, but it shows the growth rate and how the shells grow, but the meat don't grow as fast as the shell. So a lot of times, but those little ones, those 2 on the right, they're way too little. Third one is questionable, and then the fourth one, okay. That 5th one, that's prime picking right there. So that's going to be the growth of our scallops, as we speak. So anyway, I just thought that was cool. Let's go and take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Hope you get a good day going today, and hope you have a good breeze, because it's going to be blowing some, and stay out of the sun. It's really hot in the middle of the day. Remember the other day I was doing my show from my tackle bench, and I got a lot of comments on my tackle bench in the garage and different places and all, and that's just sort of my hangout. A lot of y'all liked it, and I had Ben Ford told me the best show I've ever done. I thought I'd done better shows, but I think people were just telling me that. Now, I remember I showed Chuck Carr's collection on the wall behind me. Was Chuck Carr's collection of the lures that he handmade, the Crazy Convict, and also I had a collection from Mike Edwards, a local home builder who does it as a hobby and extremely talented. Well, a day or 2 later, getting outside, open front door to go get the paper early, and after the show and all, it was the weekend. There was a package on the back of the bag full. They had 3 fishing lures that had Mike Edwards' card in it. So Mike ran me some lures by. I want to show you. These are absolutely gorgeous. Okay. These are absolutely gorgeous fishing. I'm not going to fish with them. I'm going to put them in the Mike Edwards collection. But check them out. This is just a tan color. I love that. I love this color here. I'm tempted to fish with them. I just don't want to lose them. But I got that one. We bought that one. And then look at this right here. You think I was going to catch a bass in a pond? Look at that. Man, I bet I catch a redfish too. Beautiful tiger stripes and all. Excellent paint job. The hardware is great. And then we got another one the same way with a diving lip. And he puts these together, carves them out, paints them and all. Just a remarkable job. So Mike Edwards, thank you. I think what we're gonna work on, Gail's really good about putting displays, putting a display together. So we're going to put a display of you. And I'm looking at your card, Edwards Construction, and it said established 1947. I know you're not that old, but I think your dad was doing Edwards Construction there. It does great work. Okay, thank you. And you can see, very conscientious with it. Now, I do want to mention this. We're talking about summertime, again, I've said this last week, I'll say it again about fishing. The fish are getting in cooler water, but that's not stopping them from eating. They're still eating. I talked to Wendy last night. My little grandson Mason caught 6 bass Sunday afternoon at that little pond out there. It was hot up there too, and he caught six little bass, and he was tickled, and he released them all. Now, something else going on this summer. Let me tell you this quick story. It's hot here, folks. The poison ivy and poison oak is really abundant this year. And I've usually never bothered by any of that stuff. 2 weeks ago, Gail and Wendy and I went up to Quincy to Gail's grandmother's burial and granddaddy's burial site up there at Hillcrest Cemetery. We wanted to clean it up a little bit, and there's one thing, we just have one specific area we're going to clean. And the story, there's a good story behind it. Grandgirl, we call her Grandgirl, her oldest son, George. I mentioned it before, he was killed in World War II, right at the end of the war in May of 1945 on Iwo Jima. And when they brought his body back to the States, and they had a burial service there in Quincy in 1946, and a lot of folks, of course, we read the article on it. He was just a wonderful person, and I've talked about it before. But anyway, Grandgirl, she was special. I'm glad I got to know her well when I got into the family, and a wonderful lady. And she wanted to do something, and she planted a little camellia bush at the head of the grave, away from, at the head up there. And that thing has grown and grown and grown. And it is, I don't know, it's wider than the screen here and tall as this, and it's just grown and grown. And every day we pull stuff out of it. The last couple of years with Eric and Michael, we hadn't worked on the last 2 years, so we went up there with a specific plan of just cutting away. And inside of it, some oak trees growing up, just how, how things are, we let them go. And we were determined, the three of us were determined to get it clean. So I have a little battery-powered chainsaw, my little steel battery-powered chainsaw, and I'd cut them and cut this and cut that. And you had to reach, it was like 6 feet across, so we had to work around it. We had to reach in and pull the stuff out. Okay, everybody with me? So reach in and pull the stuff out. I saw some vines and all, but I didn't pay attention to them. Folks, it was poison oak. And it didn't bother us. On the way home, Wendy started scratching, and then Gail, and their skin is very sensitive, and that didn't bother me. But long story short, Wendy had to go see her doctor. I saw him on the screen, and they gave her steroid, some medicine, and Gail had talked to her. I had to go see our doctor. They broke out all over the place. Even me, it must have been woods. I don't know if y'all can see that. I got it all along in here where we reached in and pulled. So, I tell this story, so just remind you, I let my guard down. I knew better. I should have had on long sleeves, and I should have said, hey, that's poison oak. Poison oak and poison ivy look a lot alike, but both of them are bad. But this was a strong strand of poison oak, because it's been with it. That was 2 weeks ago, and Gail's itches all over, and Wendy is a little better, and mine's about the same. It just irritates me. Then part of this skin rubs at night, I rub against this skin, so now I got it here. I feel like a little monkey scratching all the time, but I hadn't got taken in medicine yet, so hoping to get over it. Just a word to the wise to watch out for poison oak and poison ivy. Okay, let's go ahead and take our break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the final segment of Panhandle Outdoors on this Tuesday morning, and it's a warm day already. We're looking at our fishing game time today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers down in Port St. Joe. And man, they have a great selection of everything. I know I've mentioned it before and time again, but wow, what a great story Blue Water Outriggers is. Okay, the time is 7:46 to 9:46 this morning, and this evening from 8:07 to 10:07. And every July is when I really start thinking about floundering, July and August into September, and I'm getting the urge already. My boat. Anyway, I'm not quite there yet. I got a little bit more work to do on my boat, but it's interesting as far as getting all these little things just right. And I don't know if you ever have anything just right to go, but y'all know what I'm talking about. You want to be prepared, and when you get out there in the water, you don't want anything to break down, especially at night time. So y'all understand some of y'all don't understand exactly what I'm talking about. Now look at get back to the poison oak and all. I did some research on it, and it's not contagious as far as from person to person. In other words, I can't give it to you, rub up against you and get it. And it's got that, the big thing is it's got a Urush oil, and I spell it U-R, it's an oil in it, and that oil is contagious, it's really highly allergic, and that's what causes a reaction. And it's been something else. Normally it lasts 5 to 12 days. Well, ours has been right at 14 days, but they said it can, in cases, it can go up there 20 to 30 days, and I hope we're not in that category. And I haven't taken any medicine, anything. And another question too, and Wendy and I were talking on the phone yesterday, because she's feeling a little bit better, but they have that dog just runs around all over the place when they go up there out to the farm. And you can get it from a dog, and he's talking about a dog running through the bushes and everything, and you coming back and petting them and then rubbing the eyes and all. So you can be cared from a dog, especially an outdoor dog. So that gives you another reason to wash your dog. And he or she may not agree with it, but you got to talk to him and tell him what's going on. Now, I think about when I get to this point in the midsummer, I think about July observations. The other day. I looked around, and seemed like all of a sudden one of the first observations I noticed, I didn't want to tell y'all some just observations as an outdoorsman I've seen. And the first one I wrote down, and I've seen it from my yard and in the woods, is how much the trees have grown, okay? And the trees have just been, I mean, the ones in my yard, I know they've grown, they've really, really grown and sprouting out. And that's because of the water, so much rain and so much heat, and it's been a really good, healthy summer as far as plants are concerned. Now everything is so green and all. It's really been good. That's one observation. Another observation. Talking about the green. I'm not talking about just the grass and all the new growth and all the trees and all. If you had a chance to just walk through the woods and look around, and you just see all different shades of green. And the springtime green was first coming out. Now it's sort of like a darker green. I know. That don't mean a lot to some people and all, but I just love looking at the different shades of green going on into the end of the summer. And right now, it's what I call getting into that dark green. So it starts off that light green and goes dark green. And I just, some as a kid, I always just love to look at it and all. So the greening up. Okay, number 3 observation. We'll get back to gnats. Now, talking about gnats. They were up here. They're going down a little bit, but they're still aggravating. We're still getting gnats, but there's not as many. But the gnat population is still very healthy, and I get a kick out of people's comments on them and everything, and all the different home remedies they're trying, and that's good. And number 4, I did 5 observations. One of them, and I've mentioned this time again. I mentioned it during the weather earlier today. It's been the rough water we've had this summer offshore. I've seen a lot of captains. I keep up Billy Archer almost on a daily basis, and it's just been rough. A lot more rough days than regular days. I've talked to some of the. I've been in contact with some of the inshore guides, some really good inshore guides, and their game plan. They've gone to Plan B a whole lot because of the wind. And keep in mind too, our inshore guides, and when you don't ever compare your fishing to their fishing. These guys make a living off of it. They're the best of the best. And that's why a lot of people just pay for a guide service. One of their, not a secret, but one of the big things I've always noticed them doing, they get fresh live bait. And that's a situation where it's hard, in the summertime it's hard to keep that bait alive. And they've got all kind of aeration systems. I get a kick out looking on some of their boats and all about. They've got like a super hydrated system because they want to keep their oxygen going and all. But the key is that live bait with the fishing guides, plus their knowledge of knowing where to go and what that tide is doing. So I have all the kind of respect for our fishing guides. And this year, we got hit with the hurricane last year in the summer, and some of them boats are still messed up. And this year, the pandemic, they've had a rough 2 seasons. And if you get a chance to go with any of our inshore guides, I try to book them and go with them because I know they would appreciate it. So that's number 4, the rough water we've had and these thunderstorms blowing up. And the last one I pointed out, that one of my strong observations, and from being in boat ramps, we've talked about it before, is the abundance of boats. There's just a lot of boats out here, and that makes me feel good to see everybody doing it. But at the same time, you want us to be careful, and it's going to be crowded. You got in your mind when you go out on a weekend, you got to go ahead and convince yourself, and tell yourself there's going to be a lot of people out here, and there's going to be 3 people on my fishing hole. I'm just going to work with them. Okay, so go ahead and do that ahead of time, and don't be running around the bend and look. Oh, and after all of a sudden you're shocked that somebody's fishing over there where you are, where you wanted to go, because it's the chances of that happening about 90% on the weekend. And again, that's why I try to go on weekdays. And another thing too, like when you're boating, like the Shell Island people, there's just a huge group over there. I know at the tip of the Cape, just a huge group, and of course over Crab Island. And they did have an accident over Crab Island the other day, so be well aware again of the people all over the place. Okay, so that's the 5 observations. One, they're not outdoors, but folks, there's still some crazy drivers out there. One about random, there's not as many as we had right after the hurricane, but some of the diehards are out there rude and obnoxious and very careless, and this road belongs to them kind of attitude. So one of them about ran into me the other day, just boom, just in a big old truck. So anyway, let me wrap things up. Joel King has been doing a good job keeping me posted on our Tyndall situation, and I was going to I'll show you the address. What you need to do is you sign the petition. Here's what you go to now, okay? You go to Save Our Land, Save Our Land, Save Our Sand, okay? And just go to that on Facebook, and you can sign it there. Also, Neil Dunn's, you go to Neil Dunn's page. If I just looked it up, go to his page, and it just gives a form you can email him. And Neil has been in contact with Neil Dunn's office. They've had a representative call him, so this is good. We've got to stay after it. And Stacey Hartzog, I know you got a group of people interested in it. Jay Trumbull will do all he can, but I think it's out of the state's hands. It's in the national hands, but that's where it is now. So try to do those things. I signed a petition yesterday. It took me a while to find it. Once I found it, real simple. You just go right down and you fill it in and just hit submit, and it just signs the petition. And right now it's got 10,500. The goal is 15,000, and so they're about 80, close to 70-something% there now, getting there. So that's some good stuff. That's going to be a win for the common man if we can get that done. So we've got a big battle to fight ahead of us. So I want to encourage you to do it. We'll wrap things up. We got to go. We've got to get out of here, do something good for your fellow man. Have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.